All right, so here we go again.
I'll stay for nothing less.
Yeah, so pretty much everyone in the world probably is aware of how there was that tragic shooting in Parkland, Florida, and the various responses, the stereotypical kind of automatic responses that have come out of the wake of that from the two primary sources from which they come. However, I want to talk about what I consider to be the coolest possible, maybe, response to any kind of tragedy of that sort. Because it is natural, of course, to come out of a circumstance such as that and just reeling. I mean, feeling afraid and just really insecure as either a student, a faculty member. What's going to happen when I go to school tomorrow? Is someone else going to try to come in? And all those things are natural and maybe even right. But in the Blue Mountain School District of Pennsylvania, have, I guess, developed, maybe introduced is the right word, a little bit different strategy than what I've been seeing otherwise. And it's to arm every single classroom with a 5-gallon bucket of smooth, basically river stones. A student or administrator has been given the instructions to shelter in place, to lock down. They can use those stones as a projectile with which to potentially defend themselves in an armed or active shooter scenario. Now, they've obviously received various forms of criticism on that front, that it's meaningless, or it's superficial, or that it's too weak, or that it's just pointless, that it could never work. But I want to, in alternative to that, I want to give respect where it is due to the administrator there, the superintendent, for coming up with is what I would say is a very unconventional response. And the reason for that is that Einstein has been credited with the quote that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? And I think that basically sums up the response to these kind of events over the last decade, 2 decades, where we've had the exact same legislative and regulatory and rhetorical responses to these circumstances, and as a result, we've had the exact same outcome every single time. Now, obviously, the stakes for something like this are very high in the event that it doesn't work, which, granted, it's a small part of what they're doing. They're taking several different approaches, they're introducing several different new measures. This is only one of them, but it's something that's not what everyone else is doing. And I think that they deserve a great deal of honor and respect. And I think I, as one individual, would be more than willing to send my kids to any of the schools in that district due to the fact that they are doing things that no one else is doing. There's a quote also from a Christian leader, that part of his church's philosophy, he's worldwide known, that he will do things that no one is doing so that he can reach people that no one is reaching. And I think that this is important to note because of the fact that there's no way around the fact that an idea of a person taking a firearm or a weapon of any kind, let's not pretend like firearms are the ones to blame here, taking a weapon of any kind into a school and using that weapon with the motivation or the intent of causing harm to others is reprehensible. It's maybe historically unprecedented, like we've never dealt with anything like this or on this scale of it. As a result, we need to come up with ideas on how to prevent it, which are also unconventional and unprecedented. But you never know what could be the spark that ends up resulting in a flash of genius that gives us the safer schools, the safer public spheres that we want to have. Because I think every parent wants to be able to imagine that when their kid goes to school that they're going to come home that day. Everybody wants that. And I think in the same that kind of same mindset, when we're talking about what is it that's going to make kids safer in a school, we have to think about strange, maybe, things, counterintuitive, perhaps, measures, which, as he's quoted, that it's trying to empower students to take it into their own hands. And I think that's really good. Obviously, I mean, it doesn't even begin to touch the idea that if, like, self-care, as far as mental illness is concerned, as well as community looking out for each other and caring for each other in various ways, or instead of tormenting one another, the way that you can look into the backstory of some of these individuals have been. Like, there's other things that can be done as well that are probably even more effective. But you also have to look at the small rollings of pebbles which end up creating the landslide of innovation. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, Tesla building a tower which was supposed to give free electricity to everyone ended up giving us radio broadcasts instead. And so, I mean, you never know. Sometimes the greatest failures of innovation are what create the greatest products of innovation as well. And so, I mean, this has been a long kind of like weird rant of mine, but I think the point is across that I think that they deserve more respect than they've been getting. Anyways, what do you think? Do you think I'm off? Do you think that maybe that Blue Mountain is on the right track? Or do you think that maybe some of the other things, the arming of teachers or the banning of, like, I don't know, whatever your opinion is, go ahead and leave it. But yeah, subscribe if you want to see some more content like this in the future.